some of you may or may not know, me and my friends recently started a gaming channel called Quaff, and we posted one of our first videos, which is about our SMP called the Indigo SMP. Now, the Indigo SMP started as a friendly multiplayer server, but I decided that I really wanted to make it more interesting and give it plot. That being said, if you haven't watched the first episode, which is the banquet, go watch that now, and then you can come back here, but it's going to be a spoiler if you watch this first. Alright, now that you've been warned, we can kind of break it down. So, as you watch the banquet, you found out, yes, I decided to be the bad guy. What isn't said in the actual banquet episode is the amount of effort I actually put into hosting the banquet and fooling everyone and having all of these things underground that nobody knew of. Before the banquet was even organized, I wanted to make sure that the others would be set back while I was making progress, all while they had no idea. That being said, it always started with the villagers. I had the biggest farm because I was using that as profits to trade with the villagers in my basement, get access to things that nobody else had, like mending books, enchantments, etc. I actually recorded how much time I spent online while everybody else wasn't. Ended up being about 18 real-life hours that I spent farming, trading, getting over a stack of blaze rods to ensure that I would have enough before destroying the spawner. I also have a really big interest in psychology, and that ended up helping me so much. Every cover-up story I had to back up with subtle subliminal messaging that I actually would spend days just planting in their heads through Discord chats before they actually realized the issues. For example, if I was spending more time on the server, I would note that I logged off before them, and then when they would leave, I would log on. That way they knew that I couldn't be the last one there, and I wouldn't be a subject to suspicion. I was really worried that my cover-up story for the village burning down wouldn't actually fool them, but I sent them a message the night before I knew they would find it, saying something along the lines of I had heard many thunderstorms while I was mining. Therefore, tricking the back of their minds that they actually knew that thunderstorms have happened, and therefore, the village catching fire could have been a possibility. Push away more suspicions from myself, I was very careful in how people would find what I had done, and I would make sure that I wouldn't be the one to find it and act just as shocked as everybody else.
The blaze spawner is gone.
I've also done research on object permanence, and the fact is, if you slowly take something away, they may not realize that it's gone. Human beings develop a pretty good sense of object permanence once they reach 4 to 7 months of age. That being said, if you were to just take something away all at once, they would realize that something was missing. So meticulously taking away little by little of their really valuable resources would actually stop them from realizing they were going away and just have them assume that they must have used it. I didn't expect the banquet to go perfectly because I had to from their houses, all while not getting caught and going through the entire banquet without them going back home. Of course, if you watched episode 1, you found out that Darth, our friend, actually had planted TNT under the banquet hall. I knew Tarva way too well, and I knew that there was no way he was behind it. And also, Moo Tools hadn't been collecting any gunpowder at all, so it couldn't have been him. When everybody went back to their houses to grab a music disc and a jukebox for music, I knew that my plan was going to be exposed, but I also knew I was sitting with the only person that actually might be able to join me. So I started having a conversation with Darth Creeper, telling him that it was me and I needed him to join me because I knew that he had planted the TNT. Plan B was my backup base that I knew I would go to after the banquet, having revealed myself. It took 5 real-life hours to build Plan B and several more to transport everything valuable from my base and my vault hundreds of blocks into the ocean and underground. That is pretty much all the tactics that I used that I can reveal in a video. Having said, the Indigo SMP is not over, and I fully intend on continuing my evil plans, and we have more plot points for the story. So that is all I will reveal for now. But expect a new episode at some point, and thanks for listening.